Stop for a moment and think about the last time you felt overwhelmed by a deep fear that seemed to come from nowhere and left you doubting yourself in ways you could barely explain. This hidden struggle of facing unconscious fears while trying to treat yourself kindly is something I have explored deeply through my research of Carl Jung's work, and it reveals one of the most profound aspects of our psychological journey. Jung was a pioneer in revealing the shadows lurking beneath our conscious awareness, the parts of ourselves we often reject or fear. Understanding and cultivating self-compassion in the midst of these fears is not just important, it is essential for true transformation and healing. Many of us live with these dark, unconscious fears that sabotage our confidence and peace, and Jung observed this in countless patients who came to him desperate to integrate these frightening inner voices rather than be ruled by them. What struck me most in Jung's clinical experiences was how these unconscious fears are often tied to parts of ourselves that were abandoned or denied early in life, and they arise as guardians of painful truths demanding recognition. This means that when we feel fear bubbling beneath the surface, we are actually touching something deeply meaningful about our story and our psyche. The urgency here is profound because ignoring or battling these fears usually strengthens their hold, while Jung's insight proposes a radically compassionate approach where we meet our fears with curiosity and kindness. I have found in Jung's theories that the foundation of cultivating self-compassion amidst unconscious fear lies in the process he called individuation, the lifelong task of becoming whole by embracing all facets of the self, especially the rejected ones we call the shadow. For instance, one of Jung's famous patients described terrifying visions and sensations tied to a feeling of worthlessness buried since childhood. Instead of dismissing these fears as pathological, Jung invited her to explore them through symbolic language like dream analysis and active imagination, engaging the unconscious dialogue with empathy. This approach dramatically transformed her relationship to fear from one of alienation to partnership, allowing her to reframe inner criticism as a wounded part in need of care rather than an enemy. Jung's remarkable revelation here is that self-compassion is fostered not by ignoring fear, but by understanding its symbolic message and by witnessing it with openness rather than judgment. In my study of his work, I noticed a sharp contrast between Jung's integrative method and more contemporary models that sometimes emphasize cognitive control or suppression of negative emotions. Jung encourages us instead to recognize fear as a messenger from the unconscious, richly layered with meaning about our shadow self and unhealed wounds. One practical example is the technique of active imagination, where you consciously dialogue with the fearful part of yourself in writing or visualization, creating a compassionate inner witness who listens without condemnation. This delicate inner witnessing mirrors Jung's therapeutic encounters, where trust and patience allow unconscious material to surface safely and be welcomed with respect. Integrating fear and cultivating self-compassion also involve expanding your conscious identity to include your whole being, which Jung described poetically with a symbol, the mandala, representing the self as a unified totality. Whenever I teach Jung's methods, I stress this symbol because it beautifully encapsulates the balance between the known and unknown parts within us, inviting a gentle embrace of our shadow like an old friend rather than an adversary. To apply Jung's practical approach, I suggest starting with simple mindfulness exercises that cultivate present moment awareness when fear triggers arise. Then, gently invite these fearful feelings into your mind's eye without rushing or pushing away. Journal what images or thoughts come, as Jung advised, and pose curious questions to these inner voices, like what they want to tell you or how they might relate to parts of your childhood or recurring patterns. This process, patience and openness are key in building a compassionate inner dialogue that reorients your relationship with fear from hostility to empathy. Remember Jung's profound belief that human potential emerges when unconscious content is brought to consciousness and reconciled through compassion and understanding. This journey is deeply personal and not without challenges, but it holds the promise of emotional resilience and soulful integration. In closing, Jung's greatest wisdom here is that fears hiding in our unconscious are not enemies to be fought or silenced, but pathways to self-awareness and healing when met with self-compassion. By embracing your shadow fears with kindness, you open the door to a fuller, richer selfhood where your fears lose their power to disempower you. Imagine how this insight, when practiced, can transform your inner life from a battlefield to a garden of understanding and growth. For those eager to deepen this exploration, tomorrow we will address a question that builds directly on today's work. How can I apply Jungian insights to heal past traumas? This topic is crucial because many unconscious fears stem from unresolved wounds, and Jung's approach offers essential guidance on bridging personal history with transformative healing. If you found this journey into cultivating self-compassion and facing unconscious fears meaningful, please like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to continue evolving with Jung's wisdom. I am genuinely excited to guide you through tomorrow's exploration where we unlock the next transformative steps using Jung's unparalleled psychological insights. Thank you for allowing me to share these profound discoveries with you today.